Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the podcast, and welcome to your Monday Night Raw post-show, man. And there is a lot to talk about in today's episode. We're going to pretty much dissect what happened last night on Monday Night Raw. We have the official weigh-in between Brock Lesnar and Obafemi for their highly anticipated matchup at SummerSlam in a Hell in a Cell matchup. We had the Vision in action taking on Alpha Academy. We also have Javon Evans in a matchup against Rusev. We'll talk about that in today's episode as well. We also have probably one of the worst segments of all time on Monday Night Raw or WWE history. We have the Joe Hendry and Danhausen concert. We'll talk about that and how I felt about that in today's episode as well. We got Rey Mysterio in action taking on Ethan Page. We also have the Usos. They also show up on Monday Night Raw last night. And we have a women's Intercontinental title matchup between Sol Ruca and Raquel Rodriguez from the Judgment Day. And then we hear from Seth Rollins and the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns. And we'll talk all about that in today's episode, man. But before I even go into the full-on details of what happened last night, I kind of just want to talk to you guys about my take of last night's show before I do the full-on rundown of the show. My thoughts of the show, where we're going heading into SummerSlam, and just my overall just thought process of what took place last night, or what I at least watched last night on Monday Night Raw. So I want to talk about a couple things. I want to start with Danhausen. Now, I did my review for Monday Night Raw last week, just like I do every single week, and I had some crucial words, I guess you would say, about Danhausen and the overusage, I would say, of Danhausen as of late. We've seen him on Raw. We saw him at Saturday Night's Main Event. He was there with the New York Knicks. They were live from Saturday Night's Main Event at Madison Square Garden. And then we get to Monday Night Raw last night. And, we already knew going into Monday Night Raw that there was going to be this concert here between Joe Hendry and Danhausen. I'm going to be honest, man. First and foremost, I thought the segment last night, if you want to call it that, or the concert for that matter, between Danhausen and Joe Hendry, I thought it was absolutely fucking horrible. I thought it was horrible. You had the Mini-Hausens out there. I believe you had the LA Clippers cheerleaders there as well, because last night they were in LA at the Intuit Dome, where the Los Angeles Clippers NBA team play basketball. But you also had Ryan Garcia, who was ringside. He's now signed to Zuffa Boxing. He was ringside during the festivities last night during Monday Night Raw. So, you have Joe Hendry in the ring with Danhausen. Joe Hendry has his standard guitar set up and everything else like that, and they're singing the song, and then you have Danhausen playing some kind of fake organ and shit like that. Honestly, bro, when I saw this last night, number one, I thought it was cringy as all hell. I really did. My belief with Danhausen is this, bro. There's quantity and quality. And I made comments about this from WWE side of things. I've also made comments as far as quantity over quality, or quality over quantity with AEW. Specifically their pay-per-views. I didn't see the quality in this segment at all between Danhausen and Joe Hendry. I didn't understand it. I don't get it. And not for nothing, man, they are forcing this Danhausen shit in our face. That's exactly what this is. It's exactly what's going on here. Because why? Certain fans are gravitated towards Danhausen's bullshit. I don't know why. I don't know how. But there's an overabundance of usage of Danhausen on Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown. The shit's getting old. It's absolutely getting fucking old. I'm sorry. If you're a Danhausen fan, God bless you. On this podcast, we are very unapologetic. And what you see is what you get. I'm tired of seeing Danhausen. I'm tired of it, bro. The shit's getting fucking old. You bring in, and that's not even the only thing. You bring in someone like Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry made a great moment at WrestleMania when he had the open challenge. He challenged Randy Orton. He accepted the open challenge at WrestleMania. This guy was a former TNA World Heavyweight Champion. This guy was a former NXT World Champion. You bring him up to the main roster, and you've done what with Joe Hendry? Joe Hendry is a fucking circus act at this point. And at the time when they were bringing in Joe Hendry, he was a very sought-out free agent for WWE. They had a lot of interest in Joe Hendry. Obviously, Joe Hendry made a big name for himself working on the indies, and most notably obviously TNA Wrestling. And, WWE and the powers that be, being Triple H, thought it was a great idea to bring in the likes of Joe Hendry. They brought him in. They brought him into NXT. They had him at the developmental, down there in Orlando. And then brought him up to the main roster. You guys have done nothing with this fucking guy since he's been on the main roster. He's getting his ass kicked. He's in bullshit matches or stupid-ass segments. I mean, honestly, at this point, Joe Hendry is Elias 2.0. And we saw how far that lasted for Elias. This is exactly Elias 2.0. He comes out, he does a concert, all this stupid-ass shit, and it means absolutely jack shit. Nothing. It means absolutely nothing. Them having that concert last night did what for storyline? Going into SummerSlam. Joe Hendry doesn't even have a fucking match at SummerSlam, for that matter. I can't even tell you the last time Joe Hendry's been on a pay-per-view match since he's been called up to the main roster. I believe it's a big old goose egg. Nothing. You have no plans for this guy, except for stupid-ass shit like this. Singing the dumbass Logan Paul song or the shit they sung last night. Come on, man. And this guy was a sought-out free agent from WWE, and they were hell-bent in bringing this guy in to do what? To do what? Perform these dumbass concerts with Danhausen? Come on, man. Come on. And my thing is, if you're a Joe Hendry fan, and there's a lot of fans out there of Joe Hendry, you can't honestly sit here and tell me to my face, oh yeah, man, what they're doing with Joe Hendry is absolutely fantastic. It's putting him on TV. TV to do what? To get his ass kicked. It does nothing to raise the stock of Joe Hendry right now with stupid-ass shit that we saw last night. Well, he was on Monday Night Raw. Big fucking deal. The shit with Danhausen, bro, it's the same fucking thing over and over and over again. And then the icing on the cake after they got their ass kicked by the Judgment Day, and thank God they came out and stopped that ridiculous fucking concert last night and beat the piss out of Danhausen and Joe Hendry. Then we get to the backstage area where Danhausen and the Minihausens are getting all patched up and everything else like that by a doctor. We have Adam Pearce walk up and talk to Danhausen, and then Danhausen says, well, he wants the human monies on a pole match. And Adam Pearce was like, yeah, we'll do it, whatever it takes for you to get away from the Judgment Day. So now at SummerSlam, it's going to be Danhausen versus Dominic Mysterio with a monies on a pole match. Bro, my initial thought process when I fucking heard the announcement of this match was, let's go back to WCW back in 1999, 2000, 2001, and look at the Buff Bagwell situation when they had Judy Bagwell on a forklift match. And how awful and horrific that was. Like, what the fuck are we actually fucking doing here? What are we doing here? And not for nothing, I don't need to see Danhausen in the fucking ring. You want to use this guy as a comedy act? Fine, but we don't need to see it every single fucking week. We don't. I can give a shit less of seeing this guy compete in the middle of the fucking ring. I don't care. I don't care. And I honestly genuinely feel bad for someone like Joe Hendry. Because at this point, bro, you had to contemplate where they see you in this fucking company. They have no vision for you whatsoever, except for stupid ass shit like this. This might have gone down as probably one of the worst episodes of Monday Night Raw in the past, 5 years. If not longer. This Raw last night fucking sucked. The direction of this company, bro, is so fucking lost, I can't even begin to tell you how lost this company is. Triple H has no idea what the fuck he's doing. And not for nothing, bro, I'm going to say, I said it last week, I'm going to say it this week. His days are numbered. Paul Levesque's days as a content chief creating officer, or whatever the hell you want to call it, it's numbered. It's numbered. For shit like this, I mean, bro, you cannot sit here and absolutely fucking tell me that you don't have main event caliber talent right now that are extremely happy and thrilled with the way, I would say the direction of where WWE's going. This company is fucking cursed. And maybe it is Danhausen that's cursing this fucking company. This company is fucking cursed, man. You have two guys at the Power Realm right now with TKO, with Mark Shapiro and Ari Emanuel running the show, bro. They don't give a rat's fucking ass about the way this company is being run. As long as it aligns their pockets with cash, bro, they don't give a shit. You have Triple H trying to rub shoulders and be buddy-buddy with all these celebrities and shit. Ryan Garcia has nothing to do with WWE. The only reason why Ryan Garcia was in attendance last night is because TKO also partially owned the UFC, which also owns Zuffa Boxing. That's why Ryan Garcia was ringside last night and got involved in this bullshit segment with Danhausen and Joe Hendry. Not for nothing, I give a rat's ass about Ryan Garcia, to be honest with you. I'm just going to keep it a stack. I give a rat's ass, to be honest with you. I think it's a fucking joke. I think the fact that you have an abundance of celebrities in attendance for every fucking Monday Night Raw or SmackDown, mainly Raw, and you're walking around and parading around like it's a fucking pay-per-view when it's a bullshit episode of Monday Night Raw is a fucking joke. It's a fucking joke. Pro wrestling in 2026 across the board has been fucking horrible. Hence the reason why I didn't even cover Redemption's pay-per-view, because I saw the highlights of it and it was fucking awful. It was a money grab for Tony Khan. 100%. No projected storylines, no more storylines really going into All In. And the best thing of the fucking show for Redemption was Ospreay, Moxley, and Omega. That was it. And the show was an hour early and still went off the air like the show was a normal time pay-per-view schedule like they normally have now for the past few years. Quality over quantity, folks. That's really the name of the game. And some people, we don't need story. Why do you not need story? Because at that point, you have to ask yourself, when is the where, the when, and the why? Number one. And then you look at a situation, hell, even Sol Ruca last night, who was the current, at the time, Women's Intercontinental Champion, drops the belt to Raquel Rodriguez. Now, I praised Raquel. I think Raquel has done a fantastic job since she's been with the Judgment Day. And people can say, was Sol having the belt, it really elevated Sol as a main roster caliber talent on the main roster. How? What has she done with the title? Has she made the Women's Intercontinental Championship more than what it is? Did it elevate Sol Ruca's stock in the company? No, because everybody already knew who the hell Sol Ruca was just based upon her days in NXT. You call her up to the main roster, have to hold the title for on the main roster for 4 months, have her hold the title, and then see you later. Now you have to ask yourself, okay, what are they doing with Sol Ruca next? Meanwhile, you got the Judgment Day, which Raquel and Liv Morgan now hold two of the major women's titles on Monday Night Raw, with the Women's World title and the Women's Intercontinental Championship in the Judgment Day. And then you get Oba Femi and Brock Lesnar for a weigh-in. Heyman pretty much says, the hell with the weigh-in, tells everybody, that Oba weighs in at 302 and then Brock weighs in at 303. Sure, bud, whatever. And then they have a Hell in a Cell come down for 10, 15 fucking minutes? I felt bad for the guys that had to make that damn cell just for a 10 to 15 minute segment. Come on, man. The fuck are we doing here? What are we doing? What are we doing? This company is lost, bro. I'm sorry. And as far as I'm concerned, as long as TKO is in charge of this fucking company, bro, what you see is what you're going to get. The creative team for WWE is absolutely fucking trash. Trash. And you know what? Rather than WWE firing the talents, because you got an abundance of free agents right now that are able to show up wherever the hell they please, I'd rather have those free agents go back to WWE and you start firing some of this creative team that you currently have on staff. Because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. And whoever's idea of it was last night to have this bullshit concert, fucking fired. Good day, sir or ma'am. Best to your future endeavors. Because it was fucking cringy. It was horrific to watch this shit last night. Like, what are we fucking doing here, man? Seriously. What are we doing? Meanwhile, you got SummerSlam, and here's the other fucking kicker. You have Danhausen in a matchup against Dominic Mysterio for a Money's on a Pole match, which is absolutely fucking hilarious to even think about. Also knowing that, if people don't realize this by now, I'm just going to let y'all know, that you have no Carmelo Hayes, and you don't have Braun Breaker a part of SummerSlam's either Night 1 or Night 2's festivities. But we got Danhausen. Let that sink in for a fucking minute. Rather than seeing Carmelo Hayes going up against Trick Williams for the U.S. title, and I'm not taking anything away from Baron Corbin, it's great to have him back, but you could have made a triple threat match here between Hayes, Williams, and Baron Corbin at SummerSlam. Could have done that. But no, we're going to opt to keep Hayes off the card for SummerSlam for both Night 1 and Night 2. You have a main event caliber star in Braun Breaker, who, again, is not on either night 1 or night 2. But you said this guy is a future WrestleMania main eventer. How do you see it? Because not for nothing, Breaker being a part of the division is only declining his stock right now as a main event caliber talent. The division is killing off Braun Breaker right now. That's exactly what's happening. And Breaker looks like he doesn't even want to be a part of the goddamn division, which I can't fucking blame him. You lost your major mouthpiece with Paul Heyman. He's now up Brock Lesnar's ass right now. Right now, it's Breaker, Theory, Logan Paul, Maxine Dupree, and Austin Theory. If I was Breaker, I would want to get the fuck out of Dodge too. Main event caliber talent, like Paul Heyman said himself, a future multi-time main eventer for WrestleMania. Meanwhile, this guy's damn near sitting on the shelf with Division. It's fucking ridiculous. But okay, we're gonna not put Breaker or Carmelo Hayes on SummerSlam. But you know what? What we're gonna do is we're gonna do a human monies on a pole match between Danhausen and Dominic Mysterio. Meanwhile, Dominic Mysterio is the current AAA Mega Champion. What does that do for AAA? Not for nothing, Mysterio should be down in Mexico, down in AAA, defending that title, being an ambassador for that company, being on the show. He's barely even on the fucking show. You could build a matchup for Triple Mania here, and hopefully they do it. I could be wrong or right, between Dominic Mysterio defending the Mega Championship against El Grande Americano. And hopefully they do that. I think they are doing that, but he needs to be down in AAA. Danhausen does nothing, bro. I don't need to see Danhausen on a goddamn pay-per-view. I'm done with it. I'm done with the Danhausen experiment, bro. It's fucking over. It's over. Jesus Christ. Like, nobody, I mean, oh my God, man. And maybe I'm the only one. Maybe I'm the only person that, oh man, you're really harsh on Danhausen. Maybe I am. But come on, bro. Look at the fucking narrative, man. You're going to keep Braun Breaker and Carmelo Hayes off SummerSlam card, but then you're going to book Danhausen in a monies on a pole match, going back to the late WCW days when it was Buff Bagwell and having Judy Bagwell on a forklift match. And you're supposed to sell me on that. Get the fuck out of here, man. Seriously. And that match was fucking horrible. Judy Bagwell on a forklift match. Jesus Christ, man. It's... Oh man. I don't understand it, folks. I really don't. I don't get it. I don't understand the direction of where this company's going. I don't understand why the overabundance of Danhausen has to be showcased on these fucking shows every single fucking week. They're literally jamming that shit down your throat. Here's Danhausen, here's Danhausen, here's Danhausen. Bro, I'm fucking done with the Danhausen bullshit. I'm fucking done. At this point, I don't even see the comedy act out of it and how it's funny. I don't. Honestly, to me, he's a glorified jobber. If you ask me, one of the most famous jobbers. I mean, what are we fucking doing here, man? What are we doing? What are we doing? Then you had this goddamn segment last night, man, with this stupid-ass concert with the Minniehausens and then the LA Clippers cheerleaders and shit. And you have Henry and Danhausen singing this stupid-ass song. Thank God the Judgment Day came out and boot-stomped the piss out of both of them. I was thrilled with it. I was happy they got their ass kicked. Seriously. And then we have Ryan Garcia coming out of nowhere like he's goddamn Jeff Jarrett and then bashes a guitar over the back of Joe Hendry. Jesus Christ. I wonder if Ryan Garcia called Jeff Jarrett, hey man, how do you break a guitar over somebody's back? Here, I'll tell you. Jesus Christ, man. What the fuck are we doing here? What are we doing? This is supposed to be the biggest party of the summer. It's turning into the biggest piece of bullshit I've ever seen in my entire fucking life. But I'm supposed to be thrilled with SummerSlam. They're having a hard time now pushing fucking tickets. To the point where now they're doing a deal now to mark down the tickets to $25 a pop. Come on, man. Come on. And not even that. Even with Roman, and that's the other thing I'm going to get to in a second. Just the Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins shit. Jesus Christ. You know, the entire past couple weeks, ever since this match was announced, the past couple weeks on Raw, you had this vignette, these video vignettes of the history here between Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, from the early days in the Shield all the way up to what it is now. Bro, I can give a rat's ass. Honestly. I can give a rat's ass. Now, credit, yeah. I even told you guys last week, I would love to have Seth Rollins beat Roman Reigns to become World Heavyweight Champion again. But I honestly believe that Seth Rollins has a snowball's chance in hell and beating Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. This has Reigns beating Rollins all over it. Because Roman has yet to beat Seth Rollins. And Roman needs this win to captivate him into a whole different stratosphere than what he is now. I guess. Like he keeps saying, his family needs to see him beat Seth Rollins. But you know what, bro? At the end of the day, I'm done with the Roman Reigns shit too, and I'm done with the bloodline. I'm done with it, man. I know it's not going to go away. But my thing with Roman, and I'm going to say this. You have certain superstars in the business right now, even in WWE, that are willing to elevate younger talent, to push younger talent forward to make the show better. You know, you have people like John Cena that made it abundantly clear that he wants to make this place better than a better place when he leaves it, and build for the future, and bring up other superstars and put them on the main event scene and build this company for the future for the next 10, 15 years. I would even put Seth Rollins maybe into that, to build up younger superstars to make them a bigger deal. Look what he did for Braun Breaker at the time. Kind of put Breaker on the map. He kind of did. Can't discredit that from Seth Rollins. Roman is a guy, bro, I can honestly tell you this. Roman does not give a rat's ass about the future of this company. Roman Reigns cares about Roman Reigns. Roman cares about how much money he can make, the opportunities that he can get working with WWE, and gives a rat's ass about putting over younger talent. He does not give a shit whether the place is good now that he's there or bad when he leaves. He gives a rat's ass. Roman cares about Roman. Me personally, I'm done with Roman Reigns. I'm done with Roman being World Heavyweight Champion. He's a part-time act. He's trying to be the next Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and he's not The Rock. I'm sorry. You're not Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Yeah, Roman's a great talent. He's immensely over in WWE. But this part-time shit, bro, I'm done with it. I'm done with it, and I'm over it. And yeah, he's a really good talent. But this part-time shit, for me personally as a fan, it's not working out. When you're World Heavyweight Champion, or World Champion for that matter, you taking 3-4 months off and taking this sabbatical, and we haven't seen a fucking title defense in months, I'm against it. I'm against it. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that the World Champion needs to be showcased on every single episode of Raw or SmackDown. That's not what I'm saying. But you'll go months with multiple different PLEs, and there's no title defense. There's nothing. You're holding the championship captive. And Roman has done that in his long, elaborate title reign that he had before he lost it to Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania, when Cody Rhodes finished his story. I'm tired of that shit, bro. And I know the Bloodline is going to be heavily influenced going into this year's Survivor Series. Survivor Series is going to be live from Houston, and I'm pretty sure we're going to get some more additions to the Bloodline. Most notably, probably Zilla Fatu. I would be very shocked going into November, going to be in Houston, Texas, where I believe Zilla Fatu is from. I'd be very shocked if we do not see Zilla Fatu here debut with the company relatively soon. Could be the next couple months. And Zilla Fatu is a part of that Survivor Series matchup, being that Survivor Series is in Houston, Texas. I would be shocked. Now, whether he's joining the likes of the Bloodline or he's going to be a babyface and help out the other team with Solo Sikoa, because that's the way it's looking going into this year's Survivor Series. Because we all know LA Knight is tied at the hip with the Bloodline and the Usos, bro. That shit is going nowhere anytime soon. Because without the Usos, we don't see LA Knight. LA Knight's in the back of catering, chilling with Alpha Academy. Not doing shit. Shit, LA Knight needs the Bloodline like people need oxygen at this fucking point. And without him, he is completely fucked. And that's the truth. I'll take that to the fucking bank. Without the Bloodline, there is no LA Knight at this fucking point, bro. LA Knight is tied to the hip with the Bloodline and the Usos. I've been saying it now for fucking weeks. And without the Bloodline, nah. There's no LA Knight. You know, I just, to me at this point, it's even hard sometimes to even do a full rundown of these fucking shows because it gets to a point where the show is absolutely fucking boring. It's boring. I honestly, to a point where I saw that segment last night with Joe Henry and Danhausen, bro, I almost turned the fucking TV off. I've seen so many bullshit segments without WWE throughout the years, bro. I remember a time, I don't know if you guys even are going to remember this or not, but I remember a time where it was on Friday Night SmackDown, and I believe MVP was the U.S. champion. He was a great U.S. champion, in my opinion, and he had this rivalry here with Matt Hardy, and the rivalry took forever. The whole storyline with them took forever, but the storyline went on so long, in my opinion, that rather than wrestling in the ring, WWE thought it was a great idea to have MVP versus Matt Hardy in a basketball game, live on SmackDown. I'll never forget that shit to the day I die. And at that point, I stopped watching the product after that for quite some time. For a very long time. Because it was fucking horrible. Now, I'm not going to sit here and go on a limb and say that what we saw last night was as bad as that. But it's close. It's damn near close to it. You know, I don't know. Honestly, I genuinely believe that Triple H days are numbered. Paul Levesque's days are numbered in WWE. Honestly. And whoever came up with that fucking bullshit idea last night for that concert, you need to be fired. I'm sorry. I feel bad for Joe Hendry. At this point, bro, if I were you, I would contemplate going back to TNA at this fucking point. Honestly. Because they're not doing shit with you on the main roster in WWE. I am sorry. If I was Joe Hendry, yeah, I'd be calling Carlos Silva and see if I can get my fucking job back in TNA if there's one available. Yeah. If I was Joe Hendry, I'd have one foot out the fucking door. You went through all this trouble to bring this guy in, and you got no fucking plans for this guy at all. At all. Hell, as far as I'm concerned, they had the Clash in Italy, and Joe Hendry wasn't even a part of the fucking card. Wasn't on the card at all. I mean, like, what the fuck are we doing here, man? What are we doing? And everybody's like, oh, well, it is what it is. And oh, we love Danhausen. Why? Why, man? To me, the circus act is not working anymore, bro. That well has run fucking dry. It's over. It's bullshit. It's nonsense, man. And Danhausen needs to fucking go. I honestly believe, rather than him cursing the talent, that this guy is fucking cursing WWE. Because WWE has been in the fucking shithouse for weeks, months. It's been dog shit. Jesus Christ, bro. And he doesn't need to be a part of every fucking show. Like I said, the money's on the pole match at SummerSlam. What is this, WCW 2000? Judy Bagwell in a forklift match? Is that what we're fucking doing here? Come on, man. Come on. What the fuck are we doing here? What are we doing? Nothing makes logical fucking sense. But you want to shove this Danhausen shit in our face. Oh, it's Danhausen. Oh, it's Danhausen. You're cursed. Come on, man. Oh, my God, bro. Yeah, I mean, at this point, TKO and the powers that be are crippling this company from within. I'm letting y'all know that now. This is a whole different ball game than what it was years ago. TKO is crippling this company from the inside. And all they care about is the stock and the revenue that they're making. Other than that, they give a rat's ass who's on this roster and what they're doing on Raw and SmackDown. I guarantee you that Mark Shapiro and Ari Emanuel barely even know at least half of this roster. They don't fucking know, nor do they give a shit. Nor do they care. They care about the fucking money. They care about the money. That's it. That is it. They give a shit less about who the talent are or whatever have you. As long as they're making fucking money, they don't give a shit. And Nick Khan and Triple H are like, oh yeah, we're going to keep riding the wave of making them happy. And you're putting on bullshit like you did last night. Come on, man. Jesus Christ. And I think Raw is with Netflix for another 3 years, if I'm not mistaken. Jesus. Man, I don't know, bro. I really don't know. The show last night was fucking horrible. That's the best way I can describe it. It was fucking horrible. From across the board, bro. I just... Like I said, the Seth Rollins shit and Roman Reigns, yeah, it's going to be a good match. But do we have to go throughout the entire history between Rollins and Reigns? And Reigns saying the same stupid-ass shit that he does every single fucking time? Acknowledge me. Fuck off, man. Really. I'm done with it, folks. I'm done with it. I'm done with the stupid-ass shit. The shit that doesn't make sense. Like I said, you got Danhausen on SummerSlam, but then we're going to opt to keep Braun Breaker and Carmelo Hayes off the card. And what, replace that with Danhausen versus Dominic Mysterio in a money's on a pole match? Come on, bro. Jesus Christ. Like, what the fuck are we doing here? What are we doing? Nothing makes sense, bro. I'm sorry. Nothing makes sense at all with this goddamn show. Nothing at all. But we're going to go into the full rundown of the show, give you guys my thoughts of the show, and then we're going to get the hell up out of here. So, starting off the night, we got Triple H and Adam Pearce in the ring. We see the Hell in a Cell cage lowered down to the ring, which initially is going to kick off the Brock Lesnar-Oba Femi weigh-in for their highly anticipated match at Hell in a Cell. So we see Oba walking to the ring. He's being escorted by police. And then we also see Lesnar walking to the ring with Paul Heyman. Pearce then tells Oba that he's going against the greatest combat athlete of all time in Hell in a Cell. Oba then steps on the scale and he weighs in at 302 pounds. Brock then comes out with Paul Heyman, but Brock, instead of walking into the cell to weigh in, he locks Oba Femi inside the Hell in a Cell cage. Lesnar then was smiling at Oba, mocking Oba with holding the key. Heyman says, change of plans. Heyman says, it wouldn't be a good idea to have Lesnar in the Hell in a Cell right now. Heyman then hypes up Brock Lesnar, tells Oba that he is the underdog. But then the microphone keeps going out. I guess the production truck last night had a bunch of problems. Heyman says that Brock is the beast in the Brocktagon. Heyman then says Lesnar is undefeated in Hell in a Cell. Heyman then says Oba can't win in Hell in a Cell at SummerSlam. Heyman then says, by the way, I weighed Brock backstage and Brock weighed in at 303 pounds. Lesnar then grabs the microphone and tells Oba, I'll see you at SummerSlam, bitch. Oba then tells Lesnar there is nowhere to hide in the cell. After that, Oba starts getting pissed off. He starts attacking the police that were inside the ring. Again, highly anticipated matchup here between Brock Lesnar and Oba Femi at SummerSlam in a Hell in a Cell matchup. Moving on from that, we have The Vision, Braun Breaker and Austin Theory taking on Alpha Academy's Tozawa and Otis. Now, I thought this was a good match. It was a back-and-forth matchup between both teams with The Vision keeping the pace of the match. Tozawa hits a Hurricane Rana. Maxine then trips Tozawa, who was ringside. Otis then hits a spinning back elbow on Theory and Breaker in the middle of the ring, followed by Otis hitting a worm into a splash. Logan Paul, who was ringside, was causing a distraction. Breaker then sends Otis into the ring post, with Breaker hitting a spear, pins for the 3, and your winners of the match are The Vision. After the match, Breaker and Theory attack Tozawa. Theory and Breaker then attack Otis as well. Breaker hits a spear on Otis, and then Theory hits Otis with a chair shot. And after Raw went off the air last night, it was announced that Otis will be out indefinitely from that chair shot. Some interesting stuff there between Alpha Academy and The Vision. Moving on from that, we have Javon Evans taking on Rusev. Thought it was a good match. It was a back-and-forth matchup between Evans and Rusev, with Rusev keeping the pace of the match. Evans hits a springboard Hurricane Rana, but Rusev ends up hitting a devastating uppercut, taking out Evans. Rusev then hits a fallaway slam, sending Evans out of the ring to the outside. Evans then gets up, sends Rusev into the post. Rusev then sends Evans over the barricade into the timekeeper's area. Evans then gets up, hits a Pele kick, but Rusev hits a Machka kick on Evans in the middle of the ring for a near fall. Evans then gets up, hits a jumping knee. Evans then goes for an OG cutter, but Rusev counters it with an accolade, but the hold is broken. Evans then hits a stunner, and then Evans finally hits an OG cutter on Rusev in the middle of the ring, pins for the 3, and your winner of the match is Javon Evans. Hats off to Javon Evans for getting the win in this matchup. Moving on from that, we have Joe Hendry and Danhausen. They are performing a concert. Danhausen's out in the ring with Joe Hendry. Danhausen's playing an organ. Joe Hendry has the guitar. I thought this was absolutely cringy, which we talked about earlier in the show. LA Clippers cheerleaders were there as well, dancing with Joe Hendry and Danhausen. Ryan Garcia gets in the ring. Garcia then hits Hendry with a guitar. Judgment Day then attacked Danhausen as well as the Mini-Hausens, with Mysterio hitting a frog splash, taking out Danhausen. Moving on from that, we go into our next match of the night. It's Rey Mysterio taking on Ethan Page. I thought this was actually a good match. It was a back-and-forth matchup between Mysterio and Page, with Rey hitting a Hurricane Rana on Page, but Page was trying to keep the pace of the match. Page hits a powerbomb on Rey, sending Rey onto the apron. Page then was trying to rip the mask off of Rey, but Rey hits a moonsault off the top, taking out Ethan Page. Rey then hits an enziguri followed by a Hurricane Rana. Rey hits an enziguri and a Hurricane Rana. Page hits a power slam for a near fall. Rey then hits a DDT for a near fall, followed by Rey hitting a Hurricane Rana off the top to the outside, sending Page into the announce table. Rey then goes for a 619 on Page, but Page counters it, and Page hits an Egoplex on Rey Mysterio in the middle of the ring, pins for the 3, and your winner of the match is Ethan Page. Hats off to Ethan Page for getting the win in this matchup. Moving on from that, we have Adam Pearce approaching Danhausen. He was backstage getting patched up by a doctor after the attack that he got from Ryan Garcia and the Judgment Day. Adam Pearce asked Danhausen, what is it going to take for you to leave these guys alone? Danhausen says he wants a match against Mysterio at SummerSlam, but it's a human monies on a pole match at SummerSlam, and Adam Pearce makes it official for Danhausen versus Mysterio in a human monies on a pole match at SummerSlam. Moving on from that, we hear from the Usos. The Usos come out to the ring. Jay then runs his entrance back, which is absolutely annoying. Jay says he's here. Here's your warning shot to LA Knight, Royce Keys, and Solo Sikoa. Solo Sikoa then is standing in the crowd. Solo mocks Jay. Solo says the Bloodline is here, but where are they? Solo then tells the Usos they don't have a chance at SummerSlam. Jimmy then tells Solo the Bloodline is the best thing that's happened to him. Solo then mocks the Usos. Solo says, why would I go back to the Bloodline? He loves where he's at right now. Solo then tells the Usos to tell Roman he can kiss my ass. After that, LA Knight is here. Knight says he wants to beat the Usos at SummerSlam. Knight and Solo then rush the ring. Knight and Solo attack the Usos. Jacob Fatu is here. Fatu attacks Solo and Knight. Royce Keys is here. Royce then attacks Jimmy and Jay. Royce and Fatu both exchange in the middle of the ring, with Fatu applying a Tonga death grip on Royce. Solo then hits a Samoan spike, and then LA Knight hits a BFT in the middle of the ring. Moving on from that, we have a Women's Intercontinental Championship matchup where it is Sol Ruca defending the Women's Intercontinental title against Judgment Day's Raquel Rodriguez. Now, I thought this was a decent match. It was a back-and-forth matchup here between Sol Ruca and Rodriguez, with Rodriguez keeping the pace of the match. Sol Ruca hits a moonsault to the outside. Raquel now is busted wide open. Looks like she has a broken nose. But Raquel carries on. She hits a power slam on Sol Ruca in the middle of the ring for a near fall. Sol then hits a running knee on Raquel for a near fall. Sol Ruca then hits a DDT for a near fall as well. Roxanne Perez is here. Referee is distracted. Liv then attacks Sol Ruca. Raquel then hits a big boot for a near fall. Io Sky is here, but Liv attacks Io, but Io then sends Liv into the ring post. Sol then hits a code breaker on Raquel. Io then hits a running knee on Liv Morgan. Roxanne Perez attacks Sol Ruca, which allowed Raquel Rodriguez to hit her signature Tahana Bomb on Sol Ruca, pins for the 3, and your winner of the match and new Women's Intercontinental Champion is Raquel Rodriguez. Hats off to Raquel for getting the win in this matchup. And moving on from that, we have the face-to-face between the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins. Roman comes out to the ring first, was going to ask the fans to acknowledge him, but he's quickly interrupted by Seth Rollins. Rollins comes down to the ring, grabs a microphone, tells the fans to acknowledge him, and he puts the ones up. Roman then says Rollins ruined a great thing, and then Roman calls Seth an asshole. Rollins says that Roman gets everything handed to him. Rollins says that Roman will never be better than him in professional wrestling. Rollins then says that he owns Roman. Rollins says that maybe Roman calls the bloodline in because he can't get the job done on his own. Roman says he's the only real superstar around here. Roman then says he needs to beat Rollins. Rollins then talks about beating Roman at WrestleMania and sending his family home in tears. Rollins says that Roman is a fraud, a loser, and forever be Seth Rollins' bitch. After that, Roman gets pissed off. He attacks Rollins, hits Rollins with a Superman punch. Roman then hits a spear on Rollins. Roman goes to the outside, grabs a chair. But when Roman enters the ring, Rollins quickly hits a foot stop, leaving Roman helpless in the middle of the ring. Some interesting stuff there between Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. A couple of things I want to say before I get the hell up out of here, man, which I've pretty much already said in the beginning of the show. You know, my thing is, like I said, man, I'm not trying to sound like a broken record. Clearly, we know that WWE is not the same. And we all know that things do change over time. Sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worst. I think with the acquisition from TKO and bringing these guys in, it's making shit worse. From across the board. It's making things worse. The product has gone down. Ticket sales have gone down. It's been evident even going into SummerSlam. And creatively, WWE has not been the same for many, many years. I think the Paul Levesque experiment is not working out. I think his days are numbered within WWE. He's ultimately going to be the fall guy for all the creative decisions that's been going on in WWE, probably rightfully so, on top of his creative team that he currently has on staff. I think his days are numbered. I think Paul Levesque's days are numbered in WWE. I think what we see right now as far as the product is concerned with WWE is going to remain the same. Very to little storylines, very to little intrigue, very to little WWE actually taking a chance and taking a risk. Rather than them playing it safe, I feel like they're going to play it safe until the end of time. And the product that we see right now within WWE is exactly what we're going to be getting for the foreseeable future. And unfortunately, it's only going to make the product worse than what it already is. Because of the powers that be with Triple H and TKO. TKO doesn't give a rat's ass what goes on behind closed doors in WWE. As long as they're making money, they can give a rat's ass. I can tell you guys that right now. TKO is crippling this company from within. Maybe to a point where WWE can't bounce back. But we're slowly starting to see how things are playing out, and we're slowly starting to see things unravel itself and show what really is going on here in WWE. It's not the same product, man. WWE is going progressively downhill. It is. Which is crazy, because if I was Tony Khan in AEW, I'd be capitalizing on WWE's downfall right now. 100%. 100%. Because that's exactly what's going on in WWE. It's a downhill slope, man. It's progressively getting worse and worse and worse over time. Last night's episode of Monday Night Raw, man, was probably one of the worst episodes I've seen in many years. Could be the past 10 years, to be honest with you. That segment between Danhausen and Joe Hendry, I hope I never see that stupid bullshit ever again. I'm done with the Danhausen experiment. I think the shit has run its course. I don't need to see Danhausen on TV every single fucking week. That experiment with Danhausen has run its course. For me. I don't need to see him in the ring. I don't need to see him. I definitely don't need to see this guy competing in PLEs. I don't. You want him there as a comedy act to boost ticket sales and shit, that's one thing. You know, have him go to the arenas and parade around that stupid-ass golf cart that he's driving around and try to, you know, sell tickets or merch or whatever, that's fine. You want to make this guy an ambassador for WWE? Fine. Do I need to see this guy compete in the middle of the ring or especially pay-per-views or PLEs? Absolutely fucking not. Absolutely not. Because Danhausen being a part of those PLEs is taking away time for another superstar that's busted their ass to get that opportunity, like a Carmelo Hayes or a Braun Breaker. Both guys that are not even going to be a part of SummerSlam's festivities this coming weekend. Instead, we're getting Danhausen versus Dominic Mysterio in a Money's on a Pole match. Come on, man. But that's supposed to be entertaining. Get the fuck out of here. I'm sorry. And not for nothing, Danhausen can't wrestle. Might be a hot take for a lot of people, that guy can't wrestle. I'm sorry. I am sorry. I'm done with the Danhausen shit. I'm done with the Danhausen experiment. It ain't working. It's not. And WWE continually want to, throw this shit in our face, bro. After what we saw last night, this guy needs to, after SummerSlam, we need to be done with this shit. We don't need to see him every single fucking week, bro. It is getting old, it is getting stale, and it's starting to run its course. The well has run dry. Oh, you're cursed. It's the same old bullshit every single fucking time. It's getting fucking old. It's getting old. Have the guy as an ambassador or something, or be a part of the commercials or some shit like that for PLEs. But this guy does not need to be in the ring on a episode of Raw or SmackDown, and he damn sure does not need to be a part of pay-per-view or PLE festivities. I'm sorry. Especially a fucking match at that matter. I don't need to see it. I can give a shit less. I'd rather see Danhausen in AAA at this fucking point. We do not need to see it. Or back in NXT. And that's my other thing, too, before I get the hell up out of here. You look at a situation like Sol Ruca, you bring her up to the main roster. She's been a part of the main roster for, 4.5 months, 5 months. You bring her in, you have a matchup against her and Becky, she becomes Women's Intercontinental Champion, and then what do you really do with her? Because not for nothing, I don't think Sol Ruca was ready to be called up yet. She's a fantastic talent. I love the finish. I love the Soul Snatcher finish. It's great. But that finish has to be precise every single time she lands it, because if not, it's going to be one big-ass botch. That finish has to be precise, or it's going to be a botch every single fucking time. I don't think she was ready to be in the position that she was in at that time, being on the main roster for roughly, 4.5 months? It's like almost to a point, what's the point of having NXT? She wasn't ready yet. And that's been NXT's track record for a very long time. You call up these superstars on the main roster, and it fails. I can go back to so many superstars that have gone through NXT developmental that get called up to the main roster, and the minute they get called up, they know that it's over. Dijak was one of them. Dijak is one of the individuals that said that he wished that he would have just stayed in NXT and never got called up. Because the minute he knew he got called up, he knew it was fucking over. It was game over. A lot of these, hell, bro, look at Johnny Gargano. A guy that ran NXT Black and Gold with Tommaso Ciampa. What's Gargano doing now? Oh, you see him on SmackDown laying down on crates, damn near passed out, having Candice LeRae trying to bring back some spotlight to the old Johnny Wrestling. Meanwhile, Johnny Wrestling and Johnny Gargano are the same guy, but you have a guy being a top dog in NXT Black and Gold to now Johnny Gargano sleeping on crates, trying to have Candice LeRae wake his ass up every single week on SmackDown. That's what Gargano's doing now. So, again, getting called up to the main roster might not always be the best thing. Look at Braun Breaker. Yeah, he's tag team champions with Austin Theory in the Vision. This guy should be a main event caliber star. A single star. Should be on the SummerSlam card, for that matter, and he's not. But a former NXT World Champion. What are we doing? Hell, looking at the narrative, if you're working for NXT and get called up, and you see some of the people that got called up and what they're doing now, it's almost like, bro, I'd rather stay in NXT. They might not have any plans for me once I get called up. I'm sitting on the goddamn sidelines for 6 months to a year. Sitting back and catering, not doing shit. Christ, bro, look at a situation like Jordynne Grace. Jordynne Grace is healthy as a horse right now. Healthy. Not seen her on Raw, not seen her on SmackDown, not a part of SummerSlam's festivity, nothing. And was also on NXT. And you have seemingly no plans for this woman at all. Nothing. That's why she's on the shelf right now. Y'all should be fucking embarrassed. And again, I'm going to say the same thing I said with Joe Hendry, that I'm going to say with Jordynne Grace. You were probably better off staying in TNA. At this fucking point. Honestly, the writing's on the fucking wall. Especially someone like Joe Hendry, bro. Holy shit. And even Jordynne Grace, you got no creative plans for this woman at all. Meanwhile, you have a ladder match, or I don't think it's a ladder match, but a matchup at SummerSlam with multiple individuals in the women's roster going after I believe the interim Women's U.S. Championship. Why can we not put Jordynne Grace in that? Because the rumor right now is either between Julia and Lash Legend. to fill that last spot for that matchup. But no signs of Jordynne Grace. Like, what the fuck are we doing here? Stephanie Vaquer is another one, bro. Where is Stephanie Vaquer? Because 1 minute it goes from, okay, she's injured, to now visa issues. Well, damn, bro. How bad are these visa issues? Because we have not seen Stephanie Vaquer in months. So how bad are these fucking visa issues, man? Holy fucking shit. Hence the reason why Liv Morgan hasn't had any kind of title defenses at all with that women's world title, because they were putting all their chips in the basket for Liv and Stephanie Vaquer. And Stephanie Vaquer has not been on TV in months. Probably due to visa issues. You look at someone like Lyra Valkyria and then Nikki Cross 2.0. Like, what the fuck are we doing here? And Bayley, if I was Bayley, I'll be honest, I would have one foot out the fucking door. I would. What else more can you do in WWE, bro? Because they don't see you as a top star. They don't. They don't. And with her being a veteran of this sport and them coming down to a restructure on a contract, I'd be very shocked if TKO don't come to Bayley and say, hey, we're going to need you to take a pay cut to restructure this deal or have a new deal, but we need you to take a pay cut. Maybe the writing is on the wall for Bayley to fucking leave. What else more do they have for you there? I mean, at some point you also had to see what your worth is in this company and where you are valued at. If you want to stay there and work there but only get paid to sit in catering, bro, then you're just wasting your time. You're wasting your time. You're just there to collect a check, and if that's what you want to do, then God bless. But if you actually want to wrestle, then you want to get compensated for what you're doing. You want to get paid for what you're doing. And you want to be able to have a chance to wrestle and be in a predominant storyline. That's the way it is. And without those things, it's game over. It's a wrap. You know, I thought last night's episode of Raw was absolutely horrible. And if people haven't realized it by now, I'm letting you guys know that TKO is crippling this company from within. It's not the same. Hell, there's people that are praying on Triple H's downfall and bringing back Vince. I don't think Vince is the answer either. Honestly. I think that's going to cause a lot of fucking problems for a lot of people to bring back Vince. There needs to be change, bro. I don't know with what. Maybe the creative team will start there. More predominant storylines that make sense. A little less Danhausen would go a long way on Monday Night Raw and on SmackDown. We don't need to see this guy every single fucking week. And I don't need to see this guy wrestling in the ring. Especially at a PLE. That is bullshit. You book Danhausen, it takes away the opportunity for guys like Carmelo Hayes and Braun Breaker to be a part of SummerSlam's festivities. But you book Danhausen instead. Come on, man. Come on, bro. Like, what the fuck are we doing? You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. I don't know, folks. To me, it's just getting to a point where it's just absolutely fucking frustrating. It's gotten to a point now where, for me, the writing is on the wall, and what you see is what you get when it pertains to WWE's product, and this is the best that we're going to get. This is the best that we're going to get, because they think what they're doing creatively is working, and what they're doing is putting asses in seats and generating revenue for TKO, no matter what. And that's all they care about. Shit, I feel like the minute TKO's no longer making money with WWE, bro, they're pulling the plug and they're out the fucking door. It's all about making revenue. It's all about making TKO money. And that's exactly what it is. The hell with the storyline. The hell with the fans. The hell with the creative team. What you see is what you get. Because in their eyes, what you're seeing and what you're getting is putting asses in seats and generating revenue for TKO. And that's all they give a shit about, bro. The passion is no longer there. The creativity is no longer there, and just the overall happiness to want to be there is no longer there anymore. Fans are frustrated, the talent are frustrated, and they're frustrated with the direction of where WWE is going. And I honestly cannot sit here and blame them for being frustrated and fed up with WWE's bullshit as of late, because progressively the product has gotten worse and worse and worse over time ever since TKO has taken over and been a part of WWE. They are crippling this company from within. If you haven't seen it now, then it's going to be too late. I think it's time for people to wake up and smell the Folgers and realize that TKO is crippling this company from within. But with that being said, though, this is my review of Monday Night Raw. I hope you guys are out there staying safe. Be careful, and remember, stay classic. Peace.